Welcome to the Red Booth Show. Tonight's episode features actor and producer Jesse Kove. He has a new movie that's just come out called As Night Comes, and also more features on the way. So come and join us. All right, and here we have Jesse Kove.
Hi there.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I like your it kind of matches like the James Dean look. It's pretty perfect, I have to say.
That's what I was going for. Yeah, exactly. In my house, there's James Dean. Replicate him all the time.
Really? That's pretty awesome.
He's got style, right?
Hey, man, that's why I've got him on the wall, I think, twice up
That's
here.
right.
Anyway, so thanks for coming. And I, really wanted to congratulate you on your film that's just come out.
Thank you.
Yes, and the title of the film is As Night Comes.
That's right.
So why don't you guys check out the trailer right here?
Those guys you hang around with ain't going anywhere.
No one in this town respects us. Not the cops, not the teachers, not the gangs, no one. Hang out, huh?
And what do you think Ricky would say if he saw you with me?
I don't care.
You don't need him, Sean.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Girls like Sarah don't care about guys like us. But one day she will.
I heard about what happened with your father.
Ricky, stop!
My friendly neighborhood bloodsuckers.
Something Brad.
Ricky, man, just be cool, dude.
We're cool.
Don't think I don't know about your little hideout, huh? The underground?
My dad is the deputy sheriff, and all y'all better remember that.
Gutter rats.
I have big plans for all our future starting tonight. Mischief night is upon us.
You like him?
What's wrong? Can't you take on a few freaks?
I'm gonna kill you. You guys are sick.
They're sick. They're the ones who prey on the weak and hurt people.
Can't be any part of this.
One of us, or you one of them. Get in and get out of here, okay? Did you? No, Ricky, this isn't a deep game! We are a new generation.
All right, so that's a pretty intense trailer, I have to say.
It is intense.
Yeah.
There's a wide range of stuff that's going on there.
Well, I was very intrigued by the fact that this was from a 16-year-old boy that wrote the script originally.
Yes, he came up with the story, Ryan Cohen. When he was 16, he came up with the basis, and my father actually is friends with the director, Richard Zelniker, my partner who also produced the movie. And he gave him the story, and he kind of took him under his wing and was a mentor to him, and he came up with this amazing script that he wrote, which I fell in love with.
It's super intense. I mean, it's kind of interesting because it looks like it's sort of delving into what's going on with the younger generation. I mean, obviously it's not probably not as crazy as that, but maybe
you'd be surprised. I mean, it's pretty crazy out there. But yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely a story that deals with teenagers today, what they're doing, the way our culture is right now, especially the way that teens are affected in school by bullying, things like that. Even from which I've said before is the home lifestyle. The movie's just as important for parents as it is for teenagers, because it deals so much with what it's like when a kid goes home and what kind of environment they're coming home to, and how that portrays into the kid's life when they go out into the world, especially at a young age.
That's a really big deal. I actually have kids, and they are around that age. I mean, they're a bit younger,
right,
but they've experienced it like they were in middle school, and there's definitely a huge amount of anguish you can go through.
Right.
From these people in school, and there's not really anyone you can go to that can really do much. I mean, we went to the school counselors, and they would always try to do their best, but, I mean, a lot of these schools are, 3,000 kids or something, and the staff are undermanned, and there's not so much you can do. So anyways, it is a big deal, and I think that's really awesome that you guys helped to touch on that. I mean, it's obviously graphic, and it's like pretty intense, and like, whoa. But it's really important to kind of go there, I guess.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, Richard Zelniker, the director, he had such a specific vision of what he wanted and how he wanted to, these actors to portray these teenagers. And, it's a very visceral look at what's going on today. A lot of the story comes from, what's really happening out there. It takes place in a small town, basically takes place in Modesto, California. And you really go on this wild ride of the lead characters. The hero is basically Sean Holloway, who's played by Michael Olivier, and then the villain is Luke Baines. The actor is Luke Baines, and he's playing a character called Ricky Gladstone, who's this really kind of maniacal character. He's very manipulative, and that really does go on in the real world.
Yeah.
People manipulating each other to do things, and taking advantage of people's insecurities, and teenagers trying to find themselves and be in a group and be accepted and feel wanted and needed, and this just really shows that world. So, yeah.
Wow. And you also play a part in the movie as well.
I do. I play a bully. Brad Larson is my character's name. He comes from the privileged side of town. So he's able to, it's an interesting look at that too, because he's able to get away with a lot because of, his status.
Right.
Exactly. So there's truth there as well. And yeah, it's really an amazing ride. And everyone should check it out.
Yeah, definitely. It's available all over the place because you guys got distribution. Which is another great story,
It is. It's an awesome story. The fun thing, the interesting thing, which is really for everyone to go out there and do, is we basically started shooting the movie. Richard called me one day and he said, I have a friend who wants to get on board with the movie. He's got Red cameras, named Mark Mantrek. He was our DP, and he said, let's just go out and shoot the movie. And we started shooting the movie with no money, just basically feeding everybody on Subway sandwiches. But they, the script was so solid.
I know how that goes.
Right. And the script was it was such a solid script. Everyone really wanted to be a part of it and do something that was really meaningful. So we started shooting the movie with no money. We ended up cutting together a little teaser, and this is like an inside scoop for anyone who wants to make a movie. And we basically shopped that around, and we found an investor. He came in, and he eventually gave us all the funding that we needed. And
are you allowed to tell me how much the budget was?
I'll tell you when. I'll tell you in a year when we recuperate all our money.
Okay.
But it was under the $250,000 range.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we.
And these were not SAG actors, right? Or were they?
There were a few. Yeah,
okay.
It was a SAG film.
Right.
And we basically finished the movie. We finished the whole movie within, I think it was a 7-month period. We shot it in 3 different phases. First phase, obviously, with no money. So the actors actually stayed with these characters for a long time, and they were we put them through a lot. There was a couple scenes that I had that were really physically challenging.
Yeah, there was one. Weren't you like in the pool?
Yeah, we were shooting that scene. I think it was in it was in the middle of, I think it was October actually, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it was like 40 degrees outside, and we had to shoot this scene, and Richard was just pushing me to keep going, and it was great, but it turned out really well. It was really rewarding.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get hypothermia.
Almost.
Well, it really came out amazing. Even just for that low of a budget, like you would never know. Obviously, everyone's just saw the trailer, so you can see what I'm talking about. But the fact that you guys went out there and just kind of did it and fundraised and got the money from an investor, right? Was it from one investor, or did you have multiple people involved?
It was from an investor, one single investor, yeah.
Awesome. Was he just I'm kind of interested in this because I've dealt with this before, but was he somebody who's done film investing before, or was he totally new to it?
He has done investing before, yeah.
Okay, good. So he could tell, obviously.
Yeah, he has a whole team around him and everything, so.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so then you guys got it finished, and you went to go shop it around and get it distributed. Tell me a little bit about that.
We actually, our sales rep, Frederick Demy, he was able to secure a limited theatrical release that we had at the Laemmle Music Hall in Beverly Hills, which was great.
That's great.
We had a great turnout there. And that was exciting to see the movie on the big screen and, in a theater that I pass all the time, which is great. And then we later, Richard had sent the movie off to Gravitas Ventures, which is a great distribution company. And they loved the movie. They were really passionate about getting behind it. And so they had secured us on a lot of these, the major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Xbox. And so basically it's available to the masses all over the US and Canada.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's out now.
That's new, isn't it? You guys just came out.
Yeah, like 3.5 weeks ago.
Fantastic. That's so awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, so you can check it out. iTunes, Google Play, Xbox, Vudu, As Night Comes.
That's right. Awesome. So now what are you going to be working on next?
Richard has another project that he has written, and he also writes several scripts with his wife, his lovely wife, Callie, and there's another project that we're in the middle of doing some packaging right now. We've got some actors attached to it. I can't really say at the moment, but it's very exciting as well. It's another teen crime drama, and there's another movie that I'm up for in China, which I won't talk about too much, but it is a sequel to something great. And
ooh, which one? I'm gonna go crazy.
It's a period piece.
Okay.
It takes place during World War II.
No, wait. Is this? Okay, The Sun. That one from World War II. Okay.
Which one?
Okay, I'm thinking of that movie with Christian Bale.
Flowers of War.
No, but is that the one?
Oh, you're thinking of Empire of the Sun.
Yes.
No, kind of something a little similar to that, kind of. But yeah. But yeah, so that's exciting. I'm excited about that. And just keep moving.
That sounds amazing. Total mystery
Thank
sandwich.
You.
We'll have to be like checking it out. How do we find out? Obviously, we can go and subscribe to you on social media.
Yes.
So
find me on Twitter. Jesse Kove, JesseKove. Also, our movie on Twitter, which is As Night Comes on Twitter. We have a Facebook page as well. I really owe so much credit to Richard Zelniker, the director. He was just the driving force behind the whole thing. I mean, he would just be ready to jump into the fire, and I was just standing behind him the whole way. And my job was just to give him everything that he needed. And he's such a visionary, and he's so specific about what he wanted, and he wouldn't take no for an answer, no matter who it was. And I actually think it's so important for people, other filmmakers or anyone else who wants to do something similar, to find someone or a group of people that are very passionate, and to just kind of follow them. And once you have that unit, you can pretty much just do anything together. And I was very fortunate enough to work with him and be next to him. And that, he, like I said, he didn't take no for an answer. And we've come as far as we are because of him in a very big way.
Yeah.
So
he's really talented. I mean, the trailer itself is a testament to that as him as a director. And I actually happened to have the chance to speak to him on the phone a couple years ago, and I found him to be very charismatic and very persuasive. So
yes.
That's always helpful.
Yes.
But it's just so amazing what you guys have done so far with it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And there was another funny story I wanted to talk about. I actually played another character in the movie that you would never know. This
really?
is a total behind the scenes thing. In the movie, there's these like misfits that we have that are basically the guys that cause havoc.
Yeah.
And when we had no money, I had to play this other character sometimes, like shooting from my shoulder or the back of my head, because I actually looked like him. So sometimes there were points where I'm actually talking to myself, and you would never know that.
What?
Yeah, through the magic of editing. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you have a different, did they show your face or just the back of your head?
Just like the back of my head, or I was off in the distance or something. That was fun. There's just so much great stuff there.
That's so cool.
So yeah.
Well, how did you guys get the film distributed at first? I know you told me about the company you went to, but you got a sales agent, right? How did you get your sales agent?
He was recommended through a a friend of ours. We had a screening, and he came to the screening of the film, and I think we were screening at Technicolor, and he came on board and was he wanted to help us out. He loved the movie. He just got really passionate about it, and he met with Richard and he signed on board, and he was Frederic Demy, and I think his company's Ozo Films, and he's been amazing. He's this wonderful Frenchman, and he has this European style that he has, and Richard and him were able to send a private screener out to Gravitas Ventures, and they watched the movie, and then they said, "Oh my God, we love the movie." And then I think they watched it on their private screening room that they have, and they were just back and forth with Richard, talking all the time, what's next for us, and it's been a great process. So
that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
How long were you guys in post-production?
The funny thing about the post-production story was, when we were filming, I was on the set all the time, making sure that everything needed to get done. And then once we were in post, the other funny thing is that Richard and our editor, Chris Monty, who's also one of the producers, they would work side by side together when we weren't shooting, and they would edit. So we'd shoot something, they'd go into the editing room, and they'd start editing right away. So when we finished the film, there was already like a quarter of the film was already edited and put together. So they they were in the editing room for like 17 hours a day, literally working constantly together for I think it was like 3-4 months, just or even 6 months, just in the editing room, constantly editing with each other. And I didn't hear from Richard for like 3 months because I knew he was just editing.
Wow.
And then he'd call me up and say, "Oh, I need this. We've got to get this going." And
do like pickups and stuff? Yeah,
certain, whether it was getting things out for film festivals, things like that. And it was so. They were in the editing room. I didn't really have any say in the post-production process.
Right.
So yeah.
What sort of advice do you have for other people out there who might be, looking to get into filmmaking?
Advice for, it's really, especially in this town, there's so much opportunity to go out there and really do something. If you just really commit to accomplishing something, and you get a group of people, you find someone, a mentor, anyone that has a vision of something, and you really just carry out those tasks, you can really do anything. I mean, we would literally have meetings where we'd pull out a calendar and we'd say, we're going to shoot on this day and nothing's going to stop us. We had cops roll up one day, and they said, "What are you guys doing here?" And we said, "Oh, it's student film," and they said, "Oh, okay."
You're like, shh.
Yeah, exactly, right? And you just don't take no for an answer. If you have,
they're trying to be more friendly now, by the way. Here, I think it's kind of the pendulum has swung in the other direction.
Right.
Like they're starting to give tax breaks for studios and for.
That's right.
They're trying to bring everybody back, because it did get like really crazy on how hard it is even to get a permit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like they don't want you to shoot films.
Yeah, they're like just trying to get everyone to get out of here. But I'm obviously sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, just kidding. Anyways.
But yeah, you just kind of, you carry out the task, and you just go and you do it. You get it done. We were able to just finish the whole thing, and because we were so committed to getting it done, no matter what anybody does, you go and you do it. And
did you guys have a storyboard that you operated off of? Because sometimes people will shoot them without it, and I was just wondering.
We didn't really use a storyboard. It was Richard and the DP. We did kind of like some pre-production stuff. Certain locations went out in the way they wanted to shoot it, and we would do a little bit of storyboarding. But for the most part, we didn't really use it that much. For anyone else that's wanting to go out there and to do it, it's like I said, it's just so important just to commit to something, and you just go and you do it. You just really finish it and carry it out. Yeah. You can really do it if you just focus and do it.
Yeah, how did you guys get those red cams anyway? Because those are really expensive.
They are. Red cameras, if anyone knows, they're super high-end, high definition 4K cameras. I think Prometheus was shot on red cameras, and Richard is friends with a DP, Mark Mantrek, who's also a producer on the film, and the funny story is they would always drop their kids off at school together. They'd see each other in the morning, and finally, Mark he does a lot of commercials, and he's been wanting. I think he wanted to do something a little more, I guess something a little more passionate, or just like with more of a narrative. I want to do something with a narrative. And so Richard told me he had a script, and he read it, and he fell in love with it, and he said, "Wow, I just would love to do this movie with you." And he was amazing. I mean, he did everything that he was asked to do, and he would just get in there, and he lugged this camera on his shoulder for 7 months, and he was great.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know what? There was something else I want to add to anyone who else was watching.
Okay.
Content is king. So if you have good content, no matter who it is, whether it's a studio or whatever, people or just the public, they will want to watch it. You can shoot a movie on an iPhone, and if what you're shooting is good stuff, it's all there. People will laugh, people will enjoy it, people will cry. And that's another key to it. We had such good content. The writing was so good. The story was so important that people were just drawn into it. And I think that plays such an important role in filmmaking.
Totally. I mean, do you help with the script as well, or is that not part of what you do?
Yeah, I didn't really do much of the script work. It was pretty much all already done by the time I was able to read it.
But on the next one, you guys are working on another new one now, right? What is that movie called?
That one's called BFF, and it's another teen crime drama. Crime thriller.
All right, so I know you mentioned you have your next movie that you're working on as well, and I guess you're not allowed to say the name of it yet, but...
Not yet, we're getting there. We have some names attached right now. Richard's working on it. I took a break from it for the holiday, but there are some names attached to it, which is very exciting.
Are you allowed to say anything about that?
Nothing yet.
Man, okay.
You will know. You will know, I promise.
We'll have to, more and more people need to come and stay tuned. And find out about the next movie that's coming out. What about a synopsis? How about a log line? What about that?
I can't give that away either. It'll give if I say something, it'll give that away too.
Damn.
Stay in touch, I promise.
Okay, good. Well, we already could tell that this last movie was amazing, so I'm really looking forward to the next one. And the mysterious one in China, too, that you also mentioned. That's really, it's going to be great. For me, that one's more in front of the camera than behind the camera, because I like to do both. Yeah. Obviously, acting and all that stuff, it's very different than producing. Totally. Yeah. Totally. And also, it's, I love everything from that whole era, too, the whole World War II era, 1940s, and then, 50s as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It will. Thank you, yeah. What kind of a part do you have in it? Is it a lead? It's the co-lead, yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Okay, are you going to be a soldier? No, not a soldier. A businessman. Yeah. All right. Okay, well, I know you can't tell me too much more. But how did you get into acting in the first place? Great question, actually. My father's an actor, and... Oh, really? Yeah, so I kind of grew up, Martin Kove is his name, and... I basically kind of grew up on movie sets. He would take me on movie sets when I was a kid, and I would always just go and play around and see all the cameras. So, wow, yeah, that must have been fun. It was amazing. It's almost like when I'm on a set, it almost feels like another home for me because I've been around them so much since you were a kid. Yeah, it's such a creative environment, which I love. You must feel totally comfortable when you're working on a movie then. Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a fun thing to do. Whether it's with your character. I mean, it's also hard, but it's amazing. Just constantly creating a story, telling a story, these characters, whatever it is. And so he would take me on movie sets. I would always watch classic movies with him. He loved to make sure that I would watch these old classic movies that I didn't know anything about, and I'm very grateful that he did do that because it's really enriched my knowledge of film and acting and the history of Hollywood. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. He never really pushed me to go towards film acting, but he was always encouraging me to do what I wanted to do. And when I was in high school, I kind of started just marketing myself, and he's been helping me. And it's funny, him and I have yet to do a full-length feature together, but that's one of our goals, is to do a movie together, which would be fun. Oh, that'd be so fun. Yeah, How cool. Right? Maybe rookie cop and veteran cop, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and then he can
It'd be
give
fun.
you a hard time.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was the first movie role or acting role that you did?
One of the first ones I did was I played. My dad did a movie called I think it was called Bare Knuckles, and no, it was a different one. It was a CIA movie or something like that, and I played like a computer analyst, and I was in the movie with him, and that was my first role, and it was fun to do that with him.
That's so cool.
So yeah.
Can people still see that? Is it like online?
Yeah.
or-
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
And then I did theater in high school too. Lots of theater. My dad was a huge theater advocate.
Did you do Shakespeare?
I didn't do Shakespeare. I did Inherit the Wind, a couple other plays that I did that were great. I didn't do any musicals though. It's one thing I regret. I didn't get to do any musicals.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sort of inclined towards the singing and dancing and that sort
You know,
of
I don't
thing?
know. I like singing. Obviously, I sing in the shower like everyone else, but I would like to dive into that more. You know, it's the one thing I don't. I wish I played an instrument. I love music. I listen to movie scores constantly. And movie trailers because I love the music behind the trailers. My girlfriend's always like, she's always telling me to get off the phone because I'm watching movie trailers like at midnight in bed. But
the music makes such a huge impact on it. Yeah,
it's huge.
Well, it's never too late.
That's right.
You know, you can always start learning.
Yes.
But that's really cool.
Thank you.
Well, I'll have to check out some of your dad's old movies too and like see what that's about.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some great ones there.
And do you have like who reps you right now? Like what's your agency?
I'm Patrick Wellborn.
Okay.
With Allegory Entertainment.
Allegory
Management. Sorry.
Allegory.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
he's great.
So what's that like? Do you have recommendations for how to get into that and getting an agent and getting help or manager?
Yeah, just for anyone, it's really just getting out there and putting yourself on tape or filming yourself doing a scene with someone and just literally being relentless. Don't care what anybody says about, don't call this person too much or this. Just get yourself out there. People want to see you. That's the whole thing. Like even in casting process, like the whole thing is, a casting director is waiting for the right person to walk in there. They want you to be the person that books the role or the part. So same thing with an agent. They want the next great someone. So you are that person. So go and show them.
And have a reel. That's what yours.
Yeah, it's good to have a reel. Obviously, you can show your talent and see what you look like on camera and stuff like that.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's some great advice, and I hope everybody tunes in and checks out your movie and and starts following you for the future films that will be coming out as well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
As Night Comes, it's on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, As Night Comes. You can also check it on Xbox, Vudu, Google Play, and we also love to hear comments and reviews. So, thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching actor and filmmaker Jesse Kove on
The Blue Booth.
It's red.
The Red Booth.
Thank you. All right, good.